everyone, I'm back. I didn't make a video yesterday. I was busy and I had to go to work. I have some time today, so I'm gonna make a quick. Oh, it might not be a quick video. We'll see how long it takes me to talk about what I want to talk about. But anyway, so we are returning to 25 Days of Manga, and today I am wanting to talk about the manga of Love Stage. And so the reason why I wanted to talk about Love Stage is that I've realized that a lot of people have some issues with the anime, and whenever I talk to them about it, I find out that they haven't read much of the manga. And there's some certain issues that happen in the manga, or there's one in specific I really wanted to touch base on because I feel like it's very important in BL as a whole, and it doesn't get breached on very often. And one thing you need to know about me is that I want to look at BL in a healthy way, because, it does get bashed on a lot, and a lot of people don't realize that, characters can have healthy relationships in these stories. It's not just all smut. We're not just fetishizing all of it. And I don't use terms like seme and uke. I never really did, and I really don't now. And I just, I don't agree with them. I just like to call the characters by their names, and if they happen to be a top and they happen to be a bottom, then so be it. That doesn't define who they are, though. So, that being said, that's going to play into a big effect on what I wanted to talk about today. First off, I just wanted to give a general of, Love Stage for some of you who aren't too familiar with it, but I will get into a little spoilery here, so hopefully you're familiar enough with it. So, we have the story of Izumi and Roima. Izumi is part of a family of celebrities, but he has no interest in it at first. All he wants to do is make manga, but, well, he's not very good at making manga, so their agent, which is kind of like his caretaker, Ray, kind of tries to persuade him to get him into acting or some sort of celebrity. And, Izumi's not really wanting to do it. He just wants to do his mangas, which, he's not very good at, and Ray gets a little harsh with him, but I love Ray. He's a very good character, and he takes care of Izumi, and he cares about him. So, after that, we have, where is he? Oh, no, I had a place saved for him, and I lost it. Okay, here we go. So we have Shugo, who is Izumi's older brother, who babies him way too much. And he convinces Izumi to do this commercial with the family, with Roima, when he was a kid. And, he persuades him with, anime, manga stuff for Izumi to get him to do things. And he got him to come back and do this commercial. And when Izumi was a kid, the commercial was like a wedding commercial for the parents. And Roima, as a little kid, and Izumi as a little kid, were like a flower girl and ring bearer, I guess is what he was. I don't know. I didn't go into detail about that. So it's years later, and they want to do a reunion commercial as the kids, as the adults, getting married. And, Izumi was they dressed him up as a little girl in the video because the original girl fell out, so they put him in there and dressed him up. And they want to do the same again. And it, takes some persuasion, but he does it. And no one knew. So Royama is distraught when he finds out that the girl he's been in love with all these years is actually a boy. And so, to prove to himself that he can get over Izumi being a boy, is trying to come on to him, which I don't agree with, but he does make up for it later. But Roima realizes that, oh shit, I actually really like him, and he's a boy. I can maybe deal with that. So we go into that, and something I did want to talk about was let me see if I can find it here. Okay, I don't need those anymore. So we get Roima, and he says male or female, it doesn't matter. I still love Izumi. So, but then he, kind of like sexually assaulted him, so he has to make up for it. And what I like is he goes to Shugo, Izumi's older brother, for help so he can apologize to him, because he feels really bad and he wants to make up to Izumi because he loves him and doesn't want to, come off as some douchebag, basically. And so, some things that I really like about Royama making up for his dues is that he full on apologizes to Izumi. He does a whole bow and he apologizes, and he just wants to be his friend now. He just wants to get to know him and be his friend. And Izumi eventually kind of gives in and lets him hang out at the manga club with him. And what I really like is that Royama generally just gets really excited about what Izumi is working on these mangas, and even though he's not very good at it, as you can see, Royama doesn't care. He thinks it's really cool. And one thing that I really like about him, where everyone else kind of tells him that his art doesn't look good, Royama just is like blown away. He doesn't know much about manga. He thinks it looks good either way. And instead of thinking, oh, I don't know a lot about art, but this doesn't look good, no, he just thinks he's going for like a Picasso look, which to some people is a huge compliment. So, yeah, he says that maybe he's going for like a Picasso. And Picasso, I said Kapa, yeah. So, Izumi kind of gets really drawn into Royama, and they form this friendship, which is really sweet. And Royama helps him make this manga and turn it into an actual contest that a company was holding, and even thought Izumi didn't win or anything. He wanted to give up on making manga because this editor tells him that his art is crap, basically, and that he should give up on this. And he gets really upset. And Royama goes to his favorite mangaka and gets him a little illustration and tells him that it just takes time to grow into your art and not to give up, which I thought was really sweet, and I really like that in Royama, because that is good character building and shows that even thought, the person you care about, is really upset. He did whatever he could to cheer him up and make him feel better. And so those are things about Royama that I really like, and aside from his faults, because he does have some faults. And we have Izumi, who just has not want anything to do with Royama at first. They become friends, and he realizes that he actually likes him too. It takes a little time, but he realizes it, and once they're together, they're happy as can be. And then we get, they have some hardships that go on throughout the series, and I'm not going to go into those because I don't want to spoil everything. I just want to talk about one more specific thing, and I just had to talk about Royama a little bit, that way we can understand his character a little bit more when it comes down to this. So Royama, when he realizes that he's in love with Izumi, he kind of looks at him as, well, he's still feminine, he still has girly features, so I can deal with him being him. Whereas Izumi doesn't care either way. Once he realizes he was in love with Royama, that was it for him. He was all in. He went all in for this relationship and worked as hard as he could to work through their relationship and their downs that they had throughout the series. And so that brings us to the main thing I wanted to talk about in the final volume. So Izumi finally realizes that he's always been on the bottom and that he's a man too, and that he wants to be on the other side of sex with Royama. And this freaks out Royama because he always wanted to be with Izumi, but never really thought about that. Oh well, I don't want in the ass. Basically, that's basically where it comes down to, and he really hurts. Sorry, I forgot that song got a little weird. He hurts Izumi's feelings by being like, no, I don't want that. I only want the top you. Basically what it comes down to. And, and some other shit goes down in this plot as well. And I'm not going to go into that because those are really, really, really big spoilers. And that's just too much to talk about. And so Izumi, is really upset. And it takes Izumi's friend, who he meets at a company. And he's the one who basically has to tell Royama that he's being a dick and that he can't treat Izumi the way he was treating him. And Korai, I don't know. But anyway, Royama comes to talk to him because he upset Izumi and kind of asks how he's doing. And Corey, that's what I'm gonna call him. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right, but that's what I'm gonna call him. It's basically like he's bawling his eyes out, of course. Like, bitch, stop what you're doing and listen, because you fucking hurt his feelings, and maybe you should own up to it because you're a man. And, bitch, I love it when characters just go hams. They're just like, here's what it is. This is what I'm gonna tell you. Like, listen, because you're being a dick. Just being blunt as fuck. And he tells him that Royama really badgered Izumi in the beginning because he loved him and Izumi didn't love him yet. And, wanted Izumi to accept him as a man. But Royama didn't really do the same for Izumi because he kept looking at him as kind of as a girl. And, this is what comes down to bringing, this downfall of the relationship at this point. And finally, Corey basically has to be like, well, you love him. You love him. It doesn't matter who's on top, basically. And he tells him to stop being a coward, to fully accept his homosexuality, and to be with Izumi. Like, fully be with Izumi. And so he does, he goes to Izumi and they fix everything. And so the author, at the very end, puts a warning saying that there's going to be a reversal sex scene at the end. And for those of you who don't like that, and it's really sweet that Royama finally, lets Izumi have sex with him on the other end. And it makes him so happy. And it was a point in their relationship that they really desperately needed to hit because there's so many faults in it from the beginning. Royama wasn't perfect. Izumi is, he's basically perfect. He's so cute and adorable. But he's also wants to be seen as a man. And I think that's really important to breach on in BL as a whole, because it's not talked about a lot, and sometimes they're like, this is the Uke character, oh, look how feminine and delicate he is, when in reality, that's not how they want to be seen always. They want to be seen for who they are, not for qualities that puts them into a trope. And that's Izumi. He just wants to be seen by Royama for who he is and as a man, and he wants to be masculine like Royama with him. And it was finally came down for Royama to realize that he had stopped being a coward and he had to accept Izumi exactly for who he was, for all parts of him, not just for his feminine parts, but as his manly parts too. And I just felt like this needs to be talked about because it's very important, and it's really what made me love Love Stage even more. Like, whenever I finished the whole series, I just felt like something was lifted from me, from my heart. It was so nice to see something that wasn't talked about a lot show up, and in a BL that has a lot of like sexual content in it. It's very smutty, but still like it deals with deep character development and issues that would arise in relationships. So I was just really happy that Love Stage reached into that and thought it was very important. I know I talked for a long time, and this might not be a topic that's interesting to everybody. I understand a lot of people just, they want to read BL for the smut, or they don't want to read it for the smut. I like to read it for characters, story, and I prefer fluff the most, but I can do smut. I'm not opposed to it. I just prefer to have more of a story in there, and I love character development. I hope, this video wasn't too boring. I know it's kind of long, but this was something that I had to talk about. So I hope everyone enjoyed it. Tomorrow I'm probably going to talk about something else. I might not do BL. There's some manga I'm reading right now, so if I finish it tonight, then I'll talk about it tomorrow. If not, I'll figure something else out. So thank you for listening to my rambles and talk about Love Stage and how a relationship is perceived, basically. Have a good day!